An intricate mechanism inspired by the mechanism used by forklifts, which uses a scissor mechanism and a linear actuator to compress the coffee. We have a water pump and a servo that on an arm that is run by a stepper motor to automatically dispense coffee and water in. Mark will show you our intricate filling up mechanism.
Yeah, so we tried to do sort of an inverted filling mechanism. Unfortunately, after multiple iterations, we were still unable to get a watertight seal.
Okay.
So the idea was based off a bottoms-up beer company. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but where you put the glass onto a valve and it fills up. Yeah. It's basically two magnetic plates that create a gap when you push it onto the valve. That gap then lets liquid come through, and as you lift it off, the magnetic seal is meant to seal it again. So this is just the prototype of what the mechanism sort of looks like. Okay. So this was the modified end cap, and then inside the beaker you've got a plate with magnets inside, and as you meet this, it then pushes the magnets up. It creates a gap inside the beaker for the liquid to come through, and then as you lift that, magnets go back. We tried it with 3D print. A lot of water came through. We then tried it with mild steel, which, as you can feel, created the beaker very heavy. And obviously, with water, it started to rust. So that wasn't good enough. So for the purpose of the demo, we've created a third model, which is glued together, so that it creates a watertight. So the end cap and the beaker won't separate. But ideally, if we were to make this with more time and perhaps a bigger budget to get stainless steel magnets.
Well, one question was, what would you do to try and to remedy that, to get it to work?
Well, I think the introduction of better magnets, so our magnets weren't strong enough, using the stainless steel magnets so that can create a complete seal. Because the issue with the 3D print is it's not a fully flat surface, so when they meet it doesn't create a completely airtight. Perhaps the introduction of a rubber seal around the outside, so that also helps the magnet seal.
Okay.
But yeah,
did you try some washers?
We didn't know. With our group getting COVID in the lab, and we were limited in time, so I kind of had to try to do it from my room. But
And just for the demonstration, we've added a small kind of, in case it does leak, this is just an addition. You know,
a drip tray sort of thing.
We saw the problem, we figured we couldn't have it drip all over the project, so we've just added a small drip tray.
Okay.
And like I said, well, I apologise, there are certain components of the electronics that aren't currently working. I have videos of all of them working that I'm happy showing you. But
we've got a shorting in the button, I think, so when we turned it on.
Unfortunately, we had to run it off rather funny power sources that Mazin wouldn't have approved of when we weren't in the lab. So unfortunately, a couple of the components blew. So the servo isn't working, but I do have videos of it.
Okay.
And the linear actuator, the driver blew. So I'm going to run it, I'm going to be an extension of the code and run it by hand by plugging it in. If you see the code, our code is literally 01 to bring it up, 10 to turn it down. So I'm not, I'm not doing anything specific. We've designed it so that we use the minimum and maximum length of the minimum. We've designed it so we use the minimum and maximum length of the actuators. So shall we?
Bad workman brings their tools.
Shall we go through?
Yeah.
So hold on, just summary. Press mechanism, scissor thing.
Yeah.
We've got inverted cop. Other secondary functions.
We have a stepper motor which runs
3D printed rack and pinion.
So is that dispensing? Is it?
So this is on an arm which has a coffee dispenser and a water pump. It stops when it is automatically over the AeroPress and then runs back the specified number of steps.
You can see up inside this funnel there's the servo which operates the disc that opens and closes the funnel. I can actually lift this off to reveal the servo if you want.
So if you see, essentially, but we will get into that when.
Mate, we should have done this for all of them. Like, I want to look at the video afterwards.
Shall we start?
Yeah, is that all the other?
I believe so. Yeah.
On a hot plate.
And we have a nice little hot
So
plate.
what's the hot plate for?
Just to heat the mug while the whole process is happening.
Yeah.
It's always nice, everyone likes a warm plate when they. Yeah.
And then a water pump out the back.
A water pump at the back.
Oh, so you're delivering water as well?
Yeah, so the water's going to come through this nozzle, which is connected through the piping to the back.
And then we have a button and a potentiometer dial at the end of the LCD for the interface.
Are some of the secondary ones functional, even slightly?
Yeah.
By all means,
we've got a video of all the
Yeah.
So screen 1 is press next to start. That's when the user is ready. Now you get the resetting please wait with our custom wait icon, and this is where I'm going to be an
So
extension
ideally this is
of
when the
code.
actuator would be extended down,
Okay.
opening up to allow the user to insert the AeroPress.
And this is based off comments in the coursework 1 feedback, where we wanted to look at being able to reset the in case the emergency we press. And here we are, the stepper motor moving. As you see, it still says please wait, so we make sure the user doesn't
Do anything.
get too excited.
So the purpose behind this, we've got a button up here which once pressed turns the motor off, like so. So then the machine
right, I see
knows
it.
that the funnel is in the right position, directly above the AeroPress, the button's being pressed, so the motor is off.
And
Okay.
also,
Do you just stick the AeroPress in?
Yeah.
Just so you can see where it aligns up.
yeah. So as in we have, you see now, insert AeroPress.
Ah, sorry,
So,
I'm preempting
We
it.
have that going to there and that going to there, so it's a
Okay,
nice
nice.
fit.
Yeah. Oh, that's really neat. So you can actually just quickly shove it in and take it out.
And so there we have that. So then you've inserted the AeroPress and you press next, and the function of all of this was if the emergency stop was pressed, it would reset to the starting positions.
And yeah, we'll test the kill switch at some point as well.
Place cup on the plate. I did bring a cup.
Forget the mug.
Is there another 3D printed one?
Oh no, so
So the
Regular mug.
the mug would be separate to the beaker, as the beaker is the reciprocal that you then pour the
Yeah.
coffee into.
obviously you can drink out of it, but whether you want to. So
I probably wouldn't.
place cup on plate.
Not looking at the print down
I'm
there.
not sure if you heard that. There was a tiny tick from the
Yeah.
relay, which
Yeah.
signifies this has been turned on.
It's nice.
So then we add the coffee to the hopper. For the sake of the fact the servo isn't being used, we will do that afterwards. So we've done that. You press next, you add water to the tank, which is located at the back here. Just to make sure. Don't know how much volume you guys like in your coffees.
Always big.
Always big.
Big and strong.
Big and
Just
strong,
like me.
just like you. Okay, so then that's done. You press next, and here we have our custom selection screens. We knew that a big part of the AeroPress was customizability. So there's 5 seconds where you can see the options, and
Okay.
then we have a custom kind of selection screen that allows you to get up-to-date feedback on which one you're choosing. So let's go for a mild. Now we have a custom graphic to represent grinding. At this
Okay,
point,
yeah.
the servo opens, and when this graphic stops, it closes. So each weak, mild, and strong are all different number of loops, therefore open for different number of times.
Right. Okay.
If I can show you here, this was the servo working. So there it is,
Okay.
switching between 90
Opens and
degrees,
closes the gap.
Right.
and
We've
then
got to do, but actually with coffee.
there we are. So
Oh,
there it is
no,
falling
that's-
through.
That's quite nice actually. Yeah.
And
Wires for the same.
with the servo, like the stepper motor and it was able to reset to 0. So rather than it rotating, so the two positions are 90 degrees from each other, rather rotating 90 and then another 90, it actually goes to specific positions,
Okay.
which means that whenever you reset it, it's not just going to spin 90 degrees to lock.
Quick
So it's always
question.
going to go.
Okay.
Why was the water thing selected to be placed there?
Yes.
So I
perhaps.
take it the coffee falls over the top of that. Is
Yes,
that what it's
yeah,
coming in?
essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, so then again we have our next selection screen, which is water wanted. So we just have simple ways of doing the 2 different volumes. So I'm going to press this, and the pump should run a. Well, actually,
You have the custom water graphic first.
let's just add some coffee in.
Too much of a mess.
Good. So then if you press next, it's a rather strong pump. So we have a custom water graphic.
Yeah.
Which I hope you enjoy. It took me a while.
Yeah,
really
yeah,
nice.
that's quite nice really.
Ah, look at that.
And there we are, straight in, and that is our kind of 1 level, and then each one is, and then we
Base
have,
the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 on the 4 numbers on the AeroPress, so
Okay.
it sort of signifies how much water. Then the stepper motor comes on to move the hopper out of the way.
that's run on a number of steps. So as you can see there, you know, it's pretty much at the end of the rack and pinion, and that was just incorporated into the code. The user is now told to give it a stir. Now this is looking like a icky. You would, oh god, this would keep you up until tomorrow.
I thought you should know me by now.
Sorry, do you mind if I'll wipe it up after?
It'll be fine.
So you just give it a quick stir. Size button is a little bit, and then we've got bloom time. This is my baby. So obviously we have the different options.
So when you're saying bloom, are you just meaning
Bloom
how long
time.
it's going to
How long it's
stay
gonna
in
sit
the
before
The
it's
AeroPress term for resting period.
percolation?
Yes, percolation time for the engineers. So obviously, for the sake of this demo not being an additional 2 minutes, we're going to pick 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to press it, and Mark's also going to press this. And we have a custom sand tomographic where you can watch the sand fall through, spin back round and fall through again. I mean, what doesn't it do?
That
Eh?
is commendable. That is commendable.
And
Good job on that, yeah.
all of these are set, all of the graphics are set on number of loops of like full start to end.
Okay.
So with each one it differs. So 40 equates to 40 seconds, 80 and the number of loops represents that.
Very good.
I might just fill this up a little bit more, just so.
Yeah, it works. For the last 5 seconds.
Okay, so what was that?
2.
Oh, that was just me adding additional. Sorry, that was
The
completely
The
separate.
more water?
Yeah, sorry,
Oh,
it was
okay.
just because I picked one and I
Yeah, I
just
thought you
thought.
were adding
Oh, no.
blues and
And
stuff.
as you saw, it was a
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, just close to 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you're stirring it again.
So now we're told to add the
End cap on the beaker.
to the top, and so that's this, and we have kind of matching the filter system, and it fits in very nicely. So when that's done, are you ready? So obviously
Ready as
with
we'll
our
ever be.
issues with the actuator, it was sort of damaged with the driver. So if it is struggling a bit, we might give it a little bit of a push, but we do have a video of it fully compressed to show you as well.
Sweet.
So once ready is pressed.
I was like supposed to be in a praying position there.
So we have a custom coffee compressing with a mug filling up, and then we have the actuator. Oh, I think I need to spin it round to 1 and 0. Apologies.
Come on.
And if you look in the top,
What happens when you move your fingers over?
oh, so there,
There you go. Awesome.
and there you see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not even leaking.
It's not, and if you'd like to all have a look at the top now, that is, sorry, we did forget to put the filter in. I apologise, so perhaps it's not something you want to drink after.
Well, Icky's okay with that.
And limited drip.
So unfortunately, ideally if this was the proper inverted method with the proper end cap and the proper seal, this would then be able to lift off
You just screw
and
it
you
off.
pour
And
it
you
into
can
the
pour
cup.
directly in there.
But for the demo, as we weren't able to achieve a watertight seal, if you lift this up, the coffee's going
It'll all
to
cool down. Okay.
So instead, we're just going to take the whole AeroPress out.
So the AeroPress is off, and nice warm cup for you. Just need to be careful.
Can I just check this?
It doesn't mean it's not wrong.
Is it
Oh,
not
it's
warm?
not
Oh, I
on.
apologise.
It's not
We,
on.
No, I don't think it's
it
turned
might
on.
have been.
Okay.
I can show you the code.
It's okay.
All right. Okay.
Should have come on.
I just need to be careful. Just so it doesn't drip. I will wipe this up, Madeline. I'm extremely sorry.
Okay, there is a blue issue.
And there we are, a nice cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's good.
And enjoy your coffee. Now that's what this has really all been about.
Enjoy
Is
coffee.
to, and in fact, enjoy your life during.
Sweet.
And then, well, perhaps you put a piece of toast in the oven or in the oven or something. Then you get remove
I don't
AeroPress.
usually put toast in
No,
the oven, but
depends.
anyway.
Each their own. And then you've got the remove AeroPress, which obviously you do, but for the sake of this, we've removed it as one. Another coffee. Would you like another coffee? If
Oh,
so,
very good. Okay. So it goes. Let's you
you
come
press
back.
next, or you just turn it off.
And it goes back
And
to
then it
start.
goes, it sets, so we worked on float counts, so it sets all the counts to 0, and we start again. So, there we are.
Back to resetting, the actuator will extend, open for the
Right,
AeroPress.
okay.
There we are.
To the